This video will be discussing the issue of climate change. It will be looking at why climate change is a serious problem and what are the solutions for it. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. First of all, in order to define climate change, it's important to start off by deconstructing each of these two words. Climate means the average weather conditions for a specific area for many years. Climate change just means that there is a change in the average weather conditions for that area. One of the major causes of climate change is the use of fossil fuels. This is because when fossil fuels burn, they release a lot of greenhouse gases such as CO2. It is believed that the world temperature compared to the 19th century has increased by 1.1 C and that CO2 has increased in the atmosphere by 50%. It is important that climate change is gotten under control, as it has been estimated by climate scientists that if the situation isn't handled correctly, by 2100 the world temperature will increase by 2 C. Climate scientists also argue that if no action is taken to reduce climate change, then in the future the global warming temperature could increase by 4 C, which will mean there will be more heat waves, rise in sea levels, and loss of plant and animal species. It is believed that climate change will affect various regions of the world differently. For example, places such as Siberia are experiencing hotter temperatures, which means there are increased fears that all the frozen ground from before will start to melt and all the greenhouse emissions that have been trapped underneath the surface will come out and harm the environment more. In other places such as France and Germany, there has been an increase in wildfires, due to increase in hot temperatures between January and July 2022. Not to mention, there has been an increase in rainfall, which has led to an increase in flooding in places such as Nigeria, Pakistan, and China. Climate scientists argue that global warming temperature needs to be kept and maintained within 1.5 C. If this is not done, then the UN climate body estimates that the UK and Europe will have an increase in rainfall, which will lead to a significant increase in flooding. Also, throughout the Middle East there will be an increase in extreme heat waves. Furthermore, it is also argued that island nations that are based in the Pacific region will disappear, due to rising ocean levels. A lot of African countries will also experience increase in droughts, which will mean this will lead to an increase in food shortages. Currently in East Africa, the UN World Food Programme have announced that up to 22 million are now at risk of severe hunger. This is again due to climate change that is taking place there, as the region has now gone 5 seasons without regular rainfall. There is a lot of frustration and anger for people living in developing countries, as research shows that they will suffer the most from the effects of climate change, despite having produced the least amount of emissions. Moving on, if global warming temperatures aren't maintained at 1.5 C in the USA, will also experience an increase in droughts and violent storms. And lastly, Australia will see an increase in wildfires due to the increase of heat throughout the region. Overall, the major impact of climate change will mean, due to the changing of weather conditions, many people's lives and their livelihood will be at risk. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for part 2, where we will be discussing the solutions for climate change. We will also be looking at what response the government has given to the climate change disaster, and has the response been enough?